What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in to episode number 2 of the Rut and Duck podcast. I'm Dylan Hotaling.
I'm Jay Rowland.
I'm Weston Hotaling.
And we're your hosts for this show that's all about hunting in the South. Today's episode is going to be about our high and low experiences in dog driving, which means our most favorite experiences and our least favorite.
Hey, I can't wait to tell the least favorites.
Yeah.
Especially for the people that actually know me.
Yeah, they're going to... I can't wait to get to it.
Yeah, because I've never really, told the story that much.
Yeah,
I've never fully, in detail got everything about that story.
Yeah, it's...
So
all I know, that was an unforgettable experience. For you,
alive?
Yeah, you were... I was in 6th grade, so
okay, so
young.
I was probably an infant.
Let's see. How old are you? 14?
Yeah, I'll be 15.
Okay, I'm 22. Dude, you were little.
Yeah, I think Mama said I was...
He still looked like that picture you showed me.
You were like 3 or 4.
3 or 4.
5?
I thought Mama said I was like 5 months old.
Or, I don't know.
He couldn't have been very old.
But either way, guys, this is going to be a kind of a short episode. We just ran into a bunch of technological issues.
If only y'all could have seen.
So, holy smokes, man. We've got 70% of battery.
It goes quick.
Yeah.
If we don't sound as excited, it's because we lost the spark for it.
We were all excited. We were ready to
Yeah.
go, and then we got in here and just blew all the wind out of ourselves.
Yeah, we're gonna try and keep the energy up if we can.
Yeah.
It'll get good once we start.
Yeah. So let's just, since we don't have much time, we're just going to dive into it. Who wants to go first? Their most favorite.
I say we start like this.
Yeah,
Okay,
we'll
we'll go from
Oldest to youngest.
right to left if you're watching. My most favorite experience dog driving, I've kind of got 2.
Yeah.
The first one is me and my dad. We both shot a buck on the same day we were together.
Yeah.
Every now and then I still ride with my dad just because I don't want to beat my truck to death in there because I have to have it for work. So, this
Can't afford them new ball joints.
no. This has been a few years ago, but me and my dad walked into the swamp in a beautiful open swamp. They were running the riverside where we hunt, borders a river. The riverside hunt is always...
It's always going to be good. Because the bucks like to go to the river.
Yeah, it's always action-packed. I guess because maybe the river kind of makes a little funnel. The deer has to decide, do I want to cross the river or do I want to stay and just...
I think they always go to the river, for the most part, just because they know they can get away.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm assuming this was on a Saturday.
Yeah. It's just a beautiful swamp. There's ridges running everywhere. I mean, it's wide open. You can see. It's great. So my dad, there's an old logging road that goes in there. And they like to cross on that logging road. And then there's a ridge that runs through that road and runs all the way back on out into the river. So my dad went on around, and we knew we could hear some dogs coming from way off, and we had some come by pretty close, and I was getting pretty juiced up. Your adrenaline starts running, and they don't come by me. I'm facing towards the river. The river's probably, I don't know, maybe 300, 400 yards. So they run between me and the river, run straight to my dad. They run a average size 8-point to my dad. He shoots them. He calls me. He's like, "Hickey, I just smoked 8-point." And I was like, "I'll come help you in a minute, but I think I hear some more dogs coming. I'm going to sit tight for just a second." And within about 5 minutes, they ran another 6-point to me. And not that these 2 deer were big, but it was just the fact that...
They have horns.
Well, yeah, and that was a cool moment for me and my dad.
Well, we've explained where we hunt, or the region we hunt.
Yeah, no, we don't... Now, this past season, there's been several really good deer killed in front of the dogs this year.
I've seen a couple pictures from a couple people we all hunt with.
Yeah.
They're killing some good ones this year.
I don't know what happened.
Our dad killed one that I would dare... It probably went on... It could go on the club record
Yeah, it was a solid 10 point.
10, yeah.
Yeah,
17 inches.
yeah. Well, bigger than that one.
Other people were from other states went 17 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all y'all got.
That's pretty good.
That's a state
Right.
record.
Like,
dude.
South Carolina, that's a brute.
Yeah, yeah. He was bullying all the other 3 points in there.
You get to 17 and a half. Oh, that dude,
Oh.
you ain't touching him.
Man.
That's a 200-inch buck there.
No, but he was pretty. He was symmetrical. He did have a little bit of junk on his antlers. When I say
Yeah.
junk, I mean he had some little kickers trying to
Yeah.
come off. So, but that was a pretty cool experience. You know, you and your dad double up on bucks. That was cool. But my most favorite was actually 2 years ago, 2 days before the season ended. Our club is split up in between 2 states. And I didn't have my license for the other state, so I couldn't hunt there. So that's where they were turning all the dogs loose, and they're going to hunt that side. So I got as close as I could, but after about an hour and a half of nothing coming my way, I just said, "The heck with it, I'm going to go look for some duck holes," because it was end of December. I said, "I'm going to go just see what's going on in the swamps, you know, check out the duck holes." And so I walked in there. I drove way on down to another section that's on the river, and there was one hole I checked. I didn't see any ducks. I walked for probably a mile to get to it down the edge of the river. Didn't see anything there, so I backed on out. And I was like, it'd be pretty cool if a nice deer would just come on up and I could shoot them while looking for ducks. And so I went to another hole, and it's just a little lake in a swamp, and I was standing there, didn't see any ducks. Again, my duck scouting failed. But a beaver splashed in the water, and I was like, let me just check out this beaver just to see how close I can get and just look at him. And so I did. I watched him for a second. He kept bobbing up and down, and I said, well, I guess I'll go back to the truck. I had a good, mile walk back to the truck.
Good night.
Well, probably not. It's probably like half a mile, but after doing all the walking I did before, it seemed
Yeah.
like a lot. So I take 3 steps, and I hear some dogs way off. Like, man, that sounds like some dogs coming. I said, let me get out here to the road. I took about 3 more steps, and I heard a... I said, what is that? Lo and behold, that 8 point, which you can't see him
Y'all can't see it.
in the video. When we get another guest, you'll be able to see him. But he's nothing outrageous, but he was really good when in
He's
front
a
of
good
the dogs.
buck in front of the dogs. Yeah.
And he just beat bopped right up to me. So I blasted him.
Didn't you say you shot a wad into the tree?
That was earlier that day.
Oh,
We won't speak of that.
okay.
But the first shot hit him, second shot hit him, the third shot hit him. He was done after the first shot,
Yeah.
but, you know,
Adrenaline.
you got to make sure.
Double tap.
So that was pretty awesome. I called my dad because I wasn't close to the radio in my truck. So I called him and said, "Hey, can you get somebody down here to help me get this deer out?"
Yeah.
And so our boss man actually was the one that ended up coming and helping me get him out. So that was pretty damn cool for me.
Oh, yeah.
That was the biggest deer I've killed in front of the dogs. But come to find out, I was looking at him once we got him loaded on the truck, and he had a hole in his back, like right below his spine. And I was like, I didn't shoot him there. And it'd be very weird for like a concentration of pellets to just hit him right there.
Yeah.
So when we started skinning him and cleaning him, we ended up finding he had half an arrow in his back.
Somebody put a bad shot on him.
Somebody did in no man's land. So I got him mounted, and I've got the arrow on a little plaque.
Really?
Yeah, it's at the house. I
did
kind
not
of
know
forgot
that.
about it.
That's cool.
Yeah, but
I
that was
didn't know that.
yeah. He was kind of poor. They
Yeah.
ended up finding out who had shot him. And it was, I think, like 2 weeks prior to that. So he'd started kind of going. I think he would have survived.
What, like infection was getting to him or something?
Yeah, he had some infection. I think he would have lived, but
Did it mess up any of his meat?
yeah,
It
back
did?
straps.
Yeah.
But he was an old deer. He had a gray face. What do you call it? The Roman nose. You can't see
Yeah.
him. He didn't do it in the mount.
You talking about the hump?
Yeah, he had the
Yeah.
hump in his face. Like, he was old. So That was pretty cool. So that's my favorite experience.
Well, I guess it's mine now, huh?
Yes, sir.
I've told y'all this story on episode 1.1.
Yes.
But mine didn't involve a buck. It involved a doe. It was the first deer I killed on a dog drive.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I've killed more, but
Right.
it's special for your first one.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll lay out the scene. We're hunting I won't disclose the place, but we're hunting. And we're on the side of these train tracks. And the rule at this club on the train tracks is size doesn't matter because you got the highway that's on the other side of these train tracks and you don't want the dogs to get to it.
Right.
But I still, I was iffy about rules like that, so I never really partook in it.
Mm-hmm.
But sitting there and waiting on the dogs because we turned loose late. It was like 10 o'clock before we ever turned the dogs loose this morning. And we get there, turn the dogs loose, it's quiet for about 30 minutes. And then all of a sudden, about 100 yards in front of us in the woods, the dogs strike up. And within 15 seconds of them striking up, I hear it straight crashing through these woods. And I'm standing in front of this, like, canal ditch. Like, the train tracks are here, but there's like one row of pines that knock you off from the train tracks. So I'm in the row of pines, and then you got the canal ditch, and it's full of water. Like, not full, like the deer and dogs can still run through it, but I mean, you're gonna get wet. So I'm waiting, and she is making just this monstrous commotion coming through these trees, and I'm like, good night, they've got something big. I was like, I'm getting ready. I'm 9 years old at this point.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there, and she's coming, and I'm getting ready, and I got, well, you know Paul. He's with me. My dad walked down the road a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's me and Paul. And he's like, get ready. I was like, okay. She jumps out. I blast her the first shot. She rolls over, like front flips and all in this canal ditch. I proceed to unload the other 5 rounds into her because she was twitching. I was just do. I mean, my dad thought I was going to war with something down there. He was like, how many did you kill when he called me? He's like, you get 2 or 3? I was like, got 1. No, but she was good though, 110 pounds. But then the fun starts, getting her out of this ditch, and it's a briar bed as well.
Wait,
and I'm 9,
right?
And I've got 2 grown men with me, so I'm not doing much.
Yeah.
So they're dragging her out, and she's wet, and you got to go up this embankment, and they're pulling her up, and they lose her, and she slides back down. I think they might have done that, like, it might have only been one time, but I think it might have happened twice. Yeah. So, and you know my dad had a few choice words after that.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, that's
not JD.
mine. I mean, no buck, no monsters, just first deer.
Yeah.
First deer jitters.
Yeah.
Like, well, not jitters, but
yeah.
excitement. But
was there more to that? I remember you.
Oh yes. So that morning, my dad, I was getting to the age. I was 9. He was like, "You got to learn how to load your own gun."
Mm-hmm.
So I loaded my own gun, right? And I didn't realize this till after I'd done unloaded 5 rounds on this doe. I'm picking up my shells because my dad was like, "Well, keep your shell because I mean that's your first deer off a dog drive. You keep your shell. I mean that's tradition around here. I think I don't know about everywhere else.
Yeah.
But so I'm picking up my shells and I hand it to my dad to hold on to, and it's just regular old bird load. It's not buckshot or anything. He's like, I don't know how you killed this deer because she was 45, 50 yards from when I shot, and this was with a 20 gauge Mossberg.
You reckon one pellet would have got through her ear hole?
No, it all hit her in the front shoulder.
That's like all of it was birdshot?
Yeah, every single shot, all 5.
Wow.
I don't even know where I got it from.
She must have just died from exhaustion.
I must have gave her a heart attack or
She
something.
drowned.
I don't know. But, I mean, she had a hole in her, like in her front shoulder. It was plastered.
Shoot a dove with that.
Or either somebody messed up making buckshot and accidentally printed the wrong labels or something.
unless they all just got stuck into one.
Man.
It was like a slug.
It was number 8.
I don't know.
Dude,
That's
Number
crazy.
7's one or the other.
that is.
I've got the shell at the house.
Dang.
I had to show it to you,
Yeah.
but that's mine. That's my
your
favorite one, just because of the stupidity of the birdshot.
Yeah, that's funny. So, go ahead, Wes.
Well, mine also comes from my first deer because I think that's my most memorable favorite moment ever. Which this was the morning hunt. I think I probably shot this deer at 8:30, and we turned loose at 7 usually every time. And when we drew our stand that morning, we kind of knew it was going to be good because it was a hot crossing.
Right.
Every time. It's always been like that. So, all morning we heard dogs all around us. Dylan wasn't far from us. He was probably dangerously close, but
Yes.
we'll, there was dogs all around us all morning until on the right side of the road, some dogs jump up not far in there. I'd say 100, 150 yards. And they were coming to us hot and heavy. And then again, like you said, I hear that crash, that
Yes,
sound.
sir.
That sounds good.
Makes your heart drop.
So I popped my gun off safety. I was shooting a Escort, 12 gauge Escort, and I popped the gun off safety. I've got 5 shells in there. The doe come out 10 yards. Yeah, I'd say 10 yards in front of the barrel of my gun. And Dylan can remember it. I remember my shot pattern, my shot rhythm.
Yeah.
All 5 shells got spent on that gun. That box got turned loose. I remember the rhythm. I went pow, 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 pow.
Yeah. So I was only
Yeah, you were close.
it was about 75 yards. I was in a cutdown because the road came to a split. So I was like in the center of that split, and Weston was at the point.
Yeah.
And it was, I don't know, the cutdown was probably 2 years old, maybe a year old. Like it was grown
Pretty
up
fresh.
enough that there was enough stuff in between us. I'd probably be all right.
Yeah.
But I don't know why. I just really wasn't expecting a deer to come out between me and him. But when he started firing off,
Started ducking.
I was crunched up. Said, "Ooh, please!"
Hey, it's a bad feeling. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I've heard of many a day dog driving. You hear,
Yeah,
right by you.
you hear them things start scattering through the limbs.
Hey,
But I was with my papa Art that day, which he'll be on the podcast one day eventually.
I can't wait for that.
Yeah.
That will be one for the books. But I was with him. I was separated from him probably 50 yards. He was sitting in his stool watching me shoot at that deer. I didn't see it 10 yards away, but apparently the first shot, I knocked the deer over.
Yeah,
it's
And
exciting.
she got up and ran, and I couldn't even see her. I was just shooting through the bushes. That's where the rest of them went.
what did he say? I could hear him hollering. He said, "I'm trying to remember exact words."
Oh, he said, "Oh, stop shooting! Stop shooting!"
You got her. That's
You
enough.
got her. 'Cause
He started saying that
Yeah.
before you got to your last shot.
Yeah, because I went around the corner to look at her laying there, and she was doing the twitching, and I still had one shell in the gun, so I said, "Pow!" while she was twitching, and I started loading more shells.
You ain't getting away from me. It's my first deer.
So Papa had to tell me, "Just stop, just don't put any more in your gun." You got
He was
her."
going to put another 5 on her.
Yes, sir.
But,
Yeah.
yeah, I think that was my most exciting day ever hunting, and I didn't start caring about hunting until probably 4 years ago. Before that, I was a Xbox kid. I would just stay inside all the time.
Yeah. Well, that's because me and our dad really wanted you to start hunting,
Yeah.
and we handed you a 410 when you were 5 years old with buckshot. And she said, "Here, shoot this."
And at the time, I didn't realize you were supposed to put it in the meat part of your shoulder.
Yeah.
So I just crammed that thing on my collarbone, and I was shooting at a can in the water.
Well,
Oh, man.
at least you came around.
Yeah.
Hunting's good for the soul.
It is. I know the stories we just said probably makes dog driving sound
Harsh.
yes.
So y'all just shoot the poor little deer 4 more times after stick. I was 9.
Yeah. And also,
I was 10.
you're shooting a load with, I mean, anywhere from.
I was shooting birdshot. I didn't know if I got it.
Well, yeah, you've got about 100 little tiny pellets, but I mean, you are shooting shells with anywhere from 9 to 24 pellets to.
Back to my deer.
Uh-huh.
When we ate her, we were picking pellets out of her.
I guarantee.
Oh yeah, I bit into her. I just thought about it. I bit into her. I was like, "What's that?" Get lead poisoning over here.
I mean, I still don't know how, but
That's
they
unexplainable.
They must have packed a little extra punch in those loads whenever they were making them.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'd like to know what grain those things were.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll get into our worst experience. We're gonna save you for last.
Yeah, I'll go last. Mine's gonna take a little while.
Yeah. So, my worst experience it was several years ago. The biggest buck I've ever seen on the hoof. We walked in the woods. I'd walked in the woods and I was standing there and I could hear some dogs way off. And I said, I got to pee.
Yeah.
I said, let me go ahead and do this real fast. So I did. And the dogs, I mean, they were coming towards me, but they were still far enough. I should have had time. Like most of the time, a deer not too far ahead of the dogs. That's the thing with a buck. Somehow the bucks always get farther ahead. So anyways, so after I did that, I stepped over a pile of sticks trying not to make too much noise, and it was in a wide open swamp again. It was a different place, but I step over this brush pile, and I see this monster running through the woods. I said, oh my God. He was probably 35, 40 yards, and he was just at a steady trot. He wasn't breaking the sound barrier. He was just at a steady trot, but I was looking at him in amazement because, like I said, that was the biggest deer I've ever seen in person. I pulled up, and I just started letting him ring, son. Pow, 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 pow. All 5 shells on my last shot. He had gone to my right, and so I, went around a tree my last shot, and he just kept going. So I figured it was going to take him a minute to die. I was like, I know I got this deer.
Yeah.
I was like, so who would I call? My dad. Your dad should always be the first person you call.
Oh yeah.
So I called him. I said, Dad, I've done killed a monster. I was like, come over here, help me find this thing. This is the biggest deer
this club has ever seen.
Yeah, this is the biggest deer on this side of the Mississippi.
Oh yeah.
So he comes. I'm shaking up. My adrenaline is through the roof, and I just can't wait to get this deer and go show it to everybody. So this was at lunchtime. Like everybody else was already back at the camp, getting lunch. And my dad came up, and we started looking. I was like, he went this way, and he was like, did he stumble at all, or did he keep going? I said, no, he just kept right on going. I was like, but I know I hammered down on him. Well, after about an hour and a half of searching for any sign of blood at all, we found one little tiny piece of meat. And I think it was my last shot.
Yeah.
Sadly, I think I did him like in his ham, his back ham. So I thought about that deer. I still think about that deer.
Do you think anybody killed him?
He went straight to the river. He crossed the river.
Never to be seen again.
The dogs kept right on going behind him.
Somebody in the hunting club on the other side of that river probably killed him.
I don't know, but that was a grown one, and that was one that I think about all the time.
Well, this one, my story, happened yesterday. It's fun, matter of fact.
Okay.
Again, I'm with our Papa Art. He's usually a good cause. So, we were in the exact same spot once again that I killed my first deer. The exact same spot. me and him are probably a little bit closer to each other. We're probably 40, 35 yards away from each other. And the truck is in between us on the road. So I'm behind the truck and, he's in front of it. Well, we heard dogs all around us, but they were kind of far off. And then all of a sudden, 20 yards in the woods right in front of us, we hear a calamity and some squalling. That's the dog. And 5 feet in front of Papa comes this 5-point. Now that morning, it was a buck Calcutta. If you don't know what that is, it's basically whoever kills the biggest buck gets the most money in the pot.
Yeah, everybody throws in.
Everybody throws in. Well, there had already been a 6-point killed that morning, so I don't know why he didn't know. He thought it was a 6 or 7 when it come out in front of him.
Yeah, he sees stuff.
He thinks branches is a wreck.
Me and him are here. The truck's right here, and the deer comes out between us in front of the truck. So it comes out between me and him.
So, and y'all were about
40 yards apart.
40 yards. So, good God!
Just wait. Let me tell you, he has Guillain-Barré, which means his legs don't work. He just basically he's balancing on 2 legs.
He can walk.
So he's facing this way, but the deer comes out over there, and he can't move his legs. I'm standing over there. I'm gonna try to explain it as best as I can, but he saw that deer come out. That deer I've never seen a deer run that fast. He come out, he takes his gun, that A5 that's probably 50 years old, takes that gun, bow, 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 like that. While I'm standing on the other side of the truck. How he didn't shoot the truck or me, I don't know. But he did and then after he got done shooting, I looked at him and he's laying in the ground because he fell. He tripped over the sand.
Oh no, he's got what now?
Guillain-Barré. That's where the nerves in his legs are shot.
Yeah, it can be bad. Yeah, he's very fortunate.
Hold on, you said the deer was laying on the ground, or he was laying?
He was laying on the ground.
That gun done knocked him over.
Papa was standing in the really thick sand, so his legs wouldn't move either way.
Oh,
so he landed on his butt. He got up and was dumping the sand out the stock of his gun. So I went on the radio and I said, Papa just shot at a buck and helicoptered into the dirt. Papa just knew he hit him. He just knew he hit him.
Oh, yeah.
So we went around there. The dogs bait up on him 300 yards into the swamp. So me and another fella in the hunting club, we went in there 300 yards into that swamp to go find him. I dragged him 150 yards through uphill through cypress knees. I was ready to leave that deer sitting right there. But we finally got him back, and he didn't win his $200.
He said he helicoptered into the sand. Oh, man.
So,
I guess that leaves
that was pretty solid story there.
Yeah.
But here is...
Well, I guess we get a little gory with it now.
This is a near-death experience.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to set the tone.
All right.
It's Christmas Eve. Dang, what year would that have been? 2012?
I was going to say probably around 2012.
Okay, we're going to say Christmas Eve 2012. I was in 6th grade. That's been about 12 years ago.
Yeah.
And we're dog driving and having a good time. The dogs, they weren't on my side of the hunt. So I was taking a break. I started feeling kind of bad because I guess you just get a little sick every now and then.
Yeah, every now and then.
And I'm sitting on the side of this road and there's a little ditch. So I just sit down on the edge of the ditch, let my feet dangle around in the ditch because I'm young. And I'm sitting there, started feeling bad. I got my dad's with me and my sister's there too because I got a pretty hardcore hunting sister.
Yeah.
Out of the two. So we're sitting there waiting around, and I finally get to where I start feeling a little better, so I go to stand back up. And I mess up, and I've been trained not to do this, but I
Did it anyway.
It just happened anyway.
Yeah.
And I go to get up, and I put the stock of my gun down on my foot, like at the top of my boot, and I'm getting up, and the gun goes off. And it shoots me right in the foot. Okay, so I just immediately fall back down into the ditch. And my dad's like 20 yards away. He's like on the other side of the road, but he could still see me. And like he was looking at me when I was getting up. And then after the gun went off, he had looked back the other way. And then after the gun went off, he said he looked back and didn't see me no more.
Oh, God.
So then my dad runs over there, and my dad blamed himself for it, but it wasn't his fault. I was old enough, I should have known better, because I had been taught way different than what I did. So my dad gets me. He makes my sister go get the truck, and my sister, like, I mean, they're in 9th grade. They can't even drive yet, but she was right there. She went and got the truck. Okay, my dad puts me in the back seat. He's got this drop cord. He makes my sister knot this drop cord to my leg to like slow the bleeding or whatever, I guess. Put tension on it, something.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and he gets in the driver's seat, and where we're hunting, we're in between these two hospitals. It's kind of hard to tell which one you're closer to. So he just goes whichever way the truck was facing. So we come across Main Street, push about 90.
Main Street, Marion?
Yeah. I mean, we were scooting. But he gave my sister the assignment to not let me pass out.
Because at the time...
Yeah. I mean, I was losing a lot of blood.
Had you taken your boot off?
No. I still had my boot on, so it had tension on it, but I was leaking bad.
Yeah.
But he told her to make sure I don't fall asleep, like, because I keep passing out and stuff.
Right.
And I'm no stranger to blood. I mean, that stuff don't bother me. I mean, you know. But so she's over here, and I thought she was having a time of her life for some reason, because he told her, like, if I tried to pass out, just smack me. So I'm just getting smacked for 30 minutes on the way to the hospital, just. And I looked over at her one time, in and out of consciousness, and she looked like she was grinning about it. She was like, but then we get up on the back road right before the hospital where the shoe fair's at. Mm-hmm. And this state trooper throws the blue lights on my dad. My dad pulls over, jumps out. He tells him he can write tickets in the parking lot at the hospital all day if he needs to. But when we got to the hospital and they took the boot off, that's where the real pain came. Because then all the pressure was off of it. And they shoot me with 10 shots of morphine or something. I mean, they were steady poking me with stuff. Like, you talk about, like, juiced up. I was out of it. I was so out of it when they started picking the pellets out. I was like, I was just laughing. I was like, it tickles. Stop tickling me. But then I finally seen my toe for the first time. And for those listening, it's not what it sounds like. I've still got all 10 of my toes. 9 3/4. Yeah. No, but so I start looking at it, and I'm juiced up off morphine at this point. And the doctor's like wrapping it up, trying to make it look all pretty and get it all cleaned up, right? And I looked at it, I looked at the doctor, I said, you think I'll still be able to be a foot model? I said, you think I'll be able to do them little infomercials where they show off your feet and stuff? That doctor looked at me like I was stupid, but I told my parents, like, because I was mad at the world. This happened on Christmas Eve. I'm young. When we got back, I said, I don't want no more guns. I said, I'm done hunting. I said, I don't want no more guns. But for Christmas, I asked for a brand new gun. So the next morning is Christmas, and I'm over there. I'm still juiced off of morphine.
Yeah.
And I get a new gun. So I'm unwrapping this gun, and I'm like having PTSD. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna die. But if I feel sure we'll get into it eventually, but I'm pretty big on gun safety now.
Yeah,
for the most part.
Yeah, which now because we went, that was yesterday. We went to go clean out our great grandparents' house.
Yeah,
and we were kind of talking about that story with our family in there, and your mom said that I think your sister called her,
Yeah.
and she had said that all she was told was Jay just shot himself or something like that.
They thought I committed suicide or
And
something.
so what I remember is that me and my parents, we had just gone somewhere. I was sitting in the back seat because we were 11, 12.
Yeah, we were young.
And my mom answered the phone like, "Hey, what's up?" Because they're really close.
Yeah.
And all she could hear is, "Jay shot himself." Blah, blah, blah. And so my mom looked at my dad like, "Oh my god!" And I was like, "What's going on?"
Jay got a big boy.
Did Jay get one?
And the bad part is like I let out a screech when it happened because like I mean you could feel the pain like immediately,
Really?
but the gun was so close, like to my foot because it was sitting on my foot.
Yeah.
When it shot, I think the gunpowder that got on my foot like melted it back together.
Oy,
You know what I'm
Jesus.
saying? If that
Yeah.
makes sense, because it's hard to explain. But I let out a screech, and the dude down from us, he was probably like 200 yards down the road. When I finally got back better and started going back dog trapping, he said he thought I killed a pig off of the little screech. He said all he heard was I let out a heck of a little screech when it happened.
I bet.
But
'Cause I
on
can
the-
imagine, like, you ever sat really close to somebody when they're shooting a rifle and you can just feel the shockwave?
Mhm.
I can't imagine what that'd be like directly on your toe.
It was rough,
Yeah.
but it hurt, but it don't hurt. It didn't hurt as bad as a lot of people probably think it would. I'm not telling you to go shoot yourself or nothing,
Right.
just to feel it.
It
but-
probably,
It doesn't. I wouldn't think it would tickle.
No,
Exactly.
it don't tickle, but it's different.
yeah.
It feels more like a burn than like a cut or something. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Like
It's probably hard to know if you hadn't been shot before.
yeah. I don't recommend it.
Yeah. I've never tried it. So.
No, but since then, gun safety's been like a real thing. Like my gun stays pointed in the air now.
Yeah.
Like duck hunting, whatever.
Yeah.
Other than
Well, well, speaking of gun safety, I do have a little gun safety story.
This
Yeah.
one's funny.
yeah,
So, my grandfather, not Papa Art, but
Nope.
my other grandfather, who was the one in the last story that my grandmother was in the stand. So, I had been hunting. Like, my dad would drop me off in the woods
yeah,
and let me go. This was years ago. This was kind of around that same time.
yeah.
But I'd been by myself in the woods hunting a lot. So I was pretty confident with gun safety. And if I'm not mistaken, by then I'd already been to my hunter safety course. Possibly. I can't remember. I don't remember exactly when I went.
Yeah.
But one day I was there. And that was my grandpa. He used to still hunt. And he had come in and he said, "Son, I want to talk to you about gun safety." I said, "All right, Papa, I guess we can talk about it." So he's got his shotgun, or he had his rifle. He had his rifle and he was showing me everything. He was like, "This, the safety, make sure the safety's on all the time. Make sure there's nothing, when you're carrying this gun, make sure there's nothing in the chamber. Make sure you don't have a bullet loaded in." I said, "All right, okay." So he went through this whole spiel, keeping it pointed in the air, don't point it at nobody.
Yeah.
The basics. Well, a little while later, because this was in the living room, so he walked back to the bedroom, and I know it was his shotgun. I think he must have taken both of them, I guess, to figure out where he was going to sit at. But
Yeah.
he had his shotgun.
Was the shotgun a double barrel or an automatic?
No, it's an old Ithaca pump shotgun.
Okay.
Ithaca?
Yes.
I've
Good.
Yeah,
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah. I can't remember if it's a 20. I think it's a 12 gauge. But either way, so I walk, back in the living room, sit down. We're sitting there for a second. I'm, near my grandmother, and hear a booyah. Our eyes just got big. We looked at each other, and I wasn't thinking this, but Nano didn't know what just happened.
Man.
Like, did he shoot something, or did he,
Yeah.
Did
The worst happened.
right. So she didn't want me to walk back there.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm gonna go check on him. But she said no, I'll go. So she went back there. So I followed right behind her. Come around the corner, and he's sitting there with a shotgun, still pointed, hadn't let go of it yet. The window is just gone.
Did it blow the whole window pane out?
It blew everything out. We said, what happened? He said, I just shot the window out. Okay. So it was funny because he had just given me a whole gun safety course and then proceeded to blast his window out of his house.
A lot of people think like that'll never happen to me. Like,
Yeah.
I never thought that to happen to me.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
like, I still see people that like at turkey shoots and stuff, they'll rest their gun right on their boot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Don't
it'll
rest your
never
gun.
happen. Yeah,
Don't-
don't do that.
Don't.
Yeah.
It was doing that at turkey shoot yesterday, and I was like,
Yeah, if only he knew what could happen.
yeah.
I think I looked up because I was still just using a 20 gauge. If it had been a 12, a double aught buck, it'd
Right.
probably been a little bit worse.
Were you wearing steel toe?
I was wearing, I think they were composite toes,
I got you.
but I got lucky because it just, instead of just blowing everything away,
Yeah.
my boots were a little big. My dad always got me like a size bigger, that way I could grow into them. That way every season I didn't have to get new boots. So it was at the top, so it really only just like grazed the top, but it went in between, but at the top of my big toe, and I guess that'd be
Middle toe.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it went in between those two. I wish I still had the boot. I could show everybody like
Yeah.
what I mean, but I got lucky.
Yeah.
There's a lot of blood though, but when I started getting better, like I started going back dog driving, I pulled the same spot to hunt.
Let's just give myself more PTSD.
Yeah, and my dad was picking on me. He's like, "All right, don't shoot your toes." He said, and he would always pick on me because like most of the time you'd have to pass by there, like going, because that was like in the middle of the club. So if you were hunting on the outskirts of it, you'd have to pass through there. And he would like pick on me. He'd be like, "You reckon a bird ate the part of your toe?" He's like, "You reckon the birds ate that?" Or I was like, "I don't know."
Did it? I'm assuming it probably did blow all the way through the boot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know.
so that was a pretty traumatic experience.
Yeah, it about ruined it.
Yeah.
So I went to duck hunting.
Yeah.
How about we talk about the second day of our Outer Banks trip?
Okay. Well, seeing as how I guess the next episode we're probably going to talk about duck hunting pretty much the whole time. I guess we'll kind of dabble into a little bit.
And hopefully we'll have a guest on. I've got to speak with him.
Yes.
He seems to be a pretty big fan.
That's good. I hope everybody's enjoyed it. There's some, I mean,
don't think of me as an idiot just because I told you that. I just wanted to let people know like a bad experience, you know?
Yeah.
Don't think that I'm just going to shoot y'all or something, you know?
Should we save this for next episode or?
Maybe
Well, it's not going to be next episode. It'll be the one after. Well, I think.
The youth day is the 16th.
Yes.
Jay's gonna take me.
Yeah.
Well,
Are you going to come? You going to try
I
to?
don't know. Depends on where we go. I don't care.
I mean, I'm the only one that can shoot, and so
Well, I mean, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
I identify as 12.
can't do nothing. Then they can't do nothing about it if you identify.
That's right. I tell them I identify as a duck.
Well, we kind of blew through that. I
Yeah.
think we were trying to
How much
hurry.
battery you got?
20%.
Okay.
I say we dabble a little longer.
All right. So yeah.
I feel like we should save this for another podcast because that was.
Yeah, we'll get into that. That was interesting. Well, yeah, that went fast. We were trying to
went
hurry,
fast.
Yeah,
and
but still, you were on what, like 70? We're on 20 now.
yeah, we got to figure. If anybody wants to send us some new mics, XLR cable mics, that would
Hey,
be.
we'll give y'all the giveaway of Mayano, whatever this is.
We'll sign them.
Yeah, we'll sign 'em.
Yeah, we'll sign them.
We'll make a sweet trade, because we have a mixer for
Yeah.
for other mics, and these 3 mics are pulling from my computer.
Draining that thing.
My computer's sweating.
We spent an hour and 45 minutes, maybe 2 hours, roughly.
Yeah, trying to figure it out. I was
the computer.
The bad thing, like, we played around with it at your house before we ever even done a podcast. Works perfectly fine. It takes a little time.
we hooked them up and used them at least 6 or 7 times.
Yeah.
And
But
then
for some reason today,
I don't know.
it was just, y'all were lucky. We about gave up.
Yeah, we about went home.
We about went home.
Noah had to leave.
Yeah,
Noah said, "Y'all got to go."
No, poor Noah. He had to leave. We were going to like give y'all like a face reveal of Noah today, but I mean, we got out here at like what, 1 o'clock,
1:30. All of us were here at 1:30.
and it's now what time?
It is now 4:33.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've been out here 3 hours, and only how long have we been on this episode?
47 minutes. That's
Yeah,
over here.
And we got more than I thought we would get.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, some of that's going to get cut out because we were trying to figure out because we lost all our pizzazz.
Yeah.
I think we called it.
Yeah, we got back.
But,
I mean, good Lord, 17%.
we might be getting our first sponsors.
I would hope so.
I hopefully everything goes good with that.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
That is where like. Never mind.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens.
That helps us make more podcasts.
Yeah, it definitely does. I would like to give a thank you to everybody that watched our first episode. Thank you for all the. I haven't checked it today, but
Yeah, I haven't either.
I checked it last night and we were at 392 views.
Yeah,
That's pretty good because I don't know 392 people.
I don't either.
but
I don't even know the 38 that subscribed.
yeah. So thank you to everybody that subscribed. That helps us out. That lets us know that people are at least enjoying
Yeah.
what they're listening to.
And if it's people we know, like, or even if not, like, constructive criticism,
yeah,
we'll take all of we can to make it better. Like,
Yeah.
I had a buddy, he said it was really good. He just gave us a few tips on, like, certain things. I mean, that's fine.
yeah.
Anything that'll help us make it better.
Yeah, guys.
Makes it more enjoyable for everybody.
Yeah. If you got a request on Facebook, if you're following us on Facebook, thanks for checking us out.
Oh, yeah.
Don't be scared to comment
No.
on YouTube or Spotify or on Facebook. And once again, we still are planning on having guests on.
Oh, yeah.
Just message us on Facebook if you want to come on. We can't promise you
No.
that you'll be able to come on, but we'd love to see
We
some.
try our best to set up a date.
Yeah,
But if you do want to come on, we want like a detailed story, like what they're gonna bring, right?
yeah, we'll figure that out.
Oh, yeah.
Today wasn't super detailed,
Nah.
just because we were trying to hurry because things are dying on us.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks to everybody for.
Oh, yeah.
Also, if you haven't watched the first one, you'll get an introduction to us and basically just about how our lives are,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
get a taste of what the whole podcast is going to be about and what it's going to be like.
Oh, yeah.
So,
yeah. We are up on Apple Podcasts now. I haven't checked that one to see.
We did pretty good on Spotify for the first episode, I think.
I haven't. I
think
don't even know how to see the.
You have
Please.
to go on Spotify for podcasters, right?
Yeah, you have to have access to the
I don't know.
actual account.
I have it.
We appreciate everybody that watched and liked, and subscribed, and
Yeah.
anybody with any type of, like,
Yeah, I mean anybody that.
got any suggestions.
Yeah, we'll take suggestions. We'll take money too. I mean, you know what I mean?
Don't play with me.
Yeah. I mean, we're not trying to get rich.
Nah. This
It
is
is.
more for fun.
Yeah, but we do need some. We do need some better equipment.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I thought.
That whole 2 hours of nothing is for the birds.
Yeah.
We'll get that worked out eventually. Either way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and part of it is, we started this like buying stuff so long ago,
Yeah.
with no idea really what we needed because we don't have any guidance.
Yeah, we really don't.
We just are learning this. And now, we've learned a lot.
Yes.
Like, just getting a video up.
Yeah.
But we
Now,
got that.
The episode that we posted, once we figured out everything, it took no time.
It took
2 days.
if I had, 3 hours to sit there and do everything,
Yeah.
probably do it.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to make this as unedited as possible, but there's some things that
Yeah.
are gonna have to get edited out just to keep from being canceled.
Yeah.
We made it through the first episode without it,
Yeah.
so let's see if we can make it through this one.
Say just drop them.
Yeah. But
Buddy.
I'm telling you what,
Yeah.
our grandpa.
Wow.
That was loud.
Wow.
I hope nobody heard that.
Sorry, guys.
Our grandpa, Papa Arts from New York.
Syracuse, New York. And
Yes.
that man, that one might be an extra long podcast if we have time because
That'll probably be like
bring
a
the charger for that one. Man.
Yeah, that'll be a 2-part. I've seen that man shoot at a deer. He's got his gun up, laid over his shoulder, and then he goes to bring it down off his shoulder, and he just starts shooting as he's bringing it down. So
I got a funny story. Daddy told me this the other day. I don't know the full details to it, but he said, so when you're at your stand dog driving, you can leave the shotgun on the toolbox of your truck.
yeah,
Well, they took off somewhere and he forgot to take the gun off the toolbox, and Daddy was riding in his truck behind him. It said he looks up and the gun's helicoptering across the dirt,
just tumbling down.
He's
I've seen that. There's no telling how many guns or how many times that particular gun's been dropped off the truck.
Our daddy is a maniac over keeping guns clean, especially shotguns, keeping them clean and all that. Well, Papa said, "Fine me, ain't nothing wrong with it. We can still shoot it."
Yeah,
That's kind of how I am, dude. I duck hunt too much to clean it after every duck hunt.
Now, your gun's gonna get scratched up eventually. You're gonna use it, and it's gonna get scratched, unless you're you polish it or whatever to it or whatever. But for the most part, you're gonna walk through the woods, and a stick's gonna scratch it.
Oh yeah.
I got a gun right now, my favorite. It's a Remington 1187.
Great.
It was all black, and I got the mossy oak wrap. I got the bottomlands,
Yeah.
and it looks really good. It looks like it's been dipped.
Well, you did that yourself, didn't you?
Yeah. It comes with the stock and forearm and everything.
I seen it. You did pretty good on that.
Yeah. Only problem is during turkey season, I just left it in the floorboard of my truck in the back seat.
Yeah.
And one day I'd gone to Bojangles to get a meal. Got the family meal. Comes with a half gallon of sweet tea.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like their tea. It's like
tastes like a quarter.
Yeah. So I had it sitting in the back seat. I just sat the tea down just to sit it over there because all the food was sitting in the passenger seat. So and there was some jackets over top of my gun just because I didn't. It wasn't in a case.
It's hunting season.
Right. So I take the food in the house. I totally forget about the tea, and I guess it kind of got covered up by some jackets. I totally forgot that tea was sitting in the back seat. Well, at the end of turkey season, I said, "Well, let me get this gun out," because I had plans of going turkey hunting every single weekend
Oh yeah.
and some during the week, but life got in the way.
Oh yeah.
I only got to go turkey hunting twice, but both times I did call a burn in.
That's
But
what matters.
Just one.
I mean, you two of two.
That's right. But so, anyways, the gun sat there for a while,
Yeah.
and I went to take it out, and the tea had tipped over enough and broke the seal and slowly spilled out over the course of a couple weeks.
Yeah.
And luckily, the wrap was on my gun, so the only thing that's got rust is my action,
Yeah.
and it looks like. I mean, you can blow on it and rust flies off.
Yeah, I was racking it back and letting it go, and there's just rust going everywhere.
Yeah, our dad looked at it and was like,
And I think
Spam blast. I think.
that made his insides hurt. I think whenever he saw that, it made his soul hurt a little bit.
Yeah.
How much time or how much?
Ooh, 7%.
Okay.
We're gonna have to hang it up.
Yeah.
Well,
That's gonna have to be it, guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be a short episode. Hopefully it's all right. The intro is gonna get shortened up because we had
Yeah, it's kind of long.
the intro
Or
and
we
outro
might
was long.
make it to a slideshow, whatever we figure.
Yeah,
out.
we'll figure something out. So
With some kills.
yeah, thanks for watching.
Yeah.
We appreciate all of our subscribers and
Everyone that liked it.
yes, we thank you for that.
Yeah.
So, you got anything else, Wes?
I think I've covered most of it for.
All right,
All right. We'll catch you on the next one.
catch you in the next one.
See ya.